Now we move on. Donald Trump has suggested Spain will be expelled from NATO over failure to meet 5% defense spending requirements. He has said that Spain was the only laggard and has no excuse not to comply. President Trump had added that maybe Spain should be thrown out of NATO. He also mentioned working closely with Finland and NATO, noting most countries agreed to increase defense spending almost unanimously. Let's listen into what he has said.
We're going to work together very closely with Finland and with NATO. We have a very good relationship. As you know, I requested that they pay 5%, not 2%. And most people thought that was not going to happen, and it happened virtually unanimously. We had one laggard. It was Spain. Spain. You have to call them and find why are they a laggard. And they're doing well, too. You know, the funny thing, because of a lot of the things we've done, they're doing fine. They have no excuse not to do this, but that's all right. Maybe you should throw them out of NATO.
Now for this discussion, we're joined by Gautam Mukherjee. He's a senior journalist, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Gautam Mukherjee, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, how do you assess President Trump's suggestion to expel Spain from NATO? Is this only over defense spending, or do you think there are other reasons as well? Gautam Mukherjee, could you hear me? President Trump has suggested Spain could be expelled from NATO over failure to meet 5% defense spending requirement. He has said that Spain was the only laggard and has no excuse not to comply. President Trump has further added that maybe Spain should be thrown out of NATO. He has also mentioned working closely with Finland and NATO, noting most countries agreed to increase defense spending almost unanimously. Now for this discussion, we are joined by Gautam Mukherjee. He's a senior journalist, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, how do you assess President Trump's suggestion that Spain could be expelled from NATO over defense spending? Do you think that it could be, the reason could only be NATO's defense spending, or do you think there are other reasons that led to him saying this?
I don't think there's any other reason, and I don't think Spain will be expelled. This is an attempt to embarrass it into upping its defense budget. All the others who have opted doesn't mean that just from tomorrow they actually spend it. It is an indication that they are allocating money, greater money for defense, and will in due course buy defense armaments and other facilities with it. America is very keen that everybody ups the budget because NATO buys most of its equipment from America as it happens, and therefore instead of America footing the bill for all the armaments of NATO, Trump has been from the beginning pushing for the Europeans to take a larger position, and many of them have already done so, and Spain in due course will also do so.
And Gautam Mukherjee, although you say that you think this might not be the case, Spain could stay in NATO unity. Given Spain's current defense spending, also given Spain's stance about a Palestine and Israel conflict, do you think that could have maybe be a reason as well?
It might be a minor footnote, but you know, the principal players in Palestine, Gaza, Israel are Israel and the United States. It doesn't much matter what other people say. If anybody is an important factor to consider, it would be Iran, it would be Lebanon, it would be all the countries, Houthis in Yemen. These are the people who are supporting Hamas and Hezbollah, and they are currently also muted. So I think for the time being, the ceasefire, which is under negotiation, will probably happen and hold. Down the road, what happens is another matter, but whether people in Spain want to support the Palestinians, it makes little difference.
I see. And Gautam Mukherjee, if you could tell us a little bit about how much is Spain contributing to NATO as of now?
I think it's under 2%.
And is it a major player in NATO?
Well, Spain's economy is not very strong. So the main players are, of course, France and Germany. And they have been persuaded to increase their defense spending. So they take care of the most of it. The others also contribute, have also raised their contribution, those who have recently joined NATO also. So yes, Trump's requirement that NATO put a larger part of the costs for the defense of Europe has been achieved to some extent and is an ongoing process.
And lastly, do you think what can Spain do diplomatically or strategic steps so that he can avoid any tensions with the US or NATO?
Well, I think it's a matter of bilateral negotiations. There are things that the Spanish want from the United States and from the other states of NATO. Those could be met to some extent, and Spain could agree to, if not up it to 5%, at least up it from 2% to maybe 3%, and then approach 5% in a staged manner, maybe over 2 or 3 years.
With that, I would like to thank Gautam Mukherjee for joining us and sharing that insight on this topic. Now we move on to Asia. Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te has vowed to speed up construction of a multi-layered air defense system as part of efforts to counter enemy threats. Lai's government has been under U.S. pressure to improve its ability to defend itself against a potential attack by China, which claims the island is part of its territory. During Taiwan's National Day celebrations, Lai has said that we will accelerate our building of the T-Dome, establish a rigorous air defense system in Taiwan with multi-layered defense and high-level detection, as well as effective interception. He's also stated that Taiwan was determined to maintain peace through strength and called on China to renounce the use of force or coercion to change the status quo. Across the Taiwan Strait, let's in fact listen into what Lai Ching-te has said.
我们有决心透过实力维护和平，我们也深信实力不只要透过军力，也要透过全社会的韧性。我们也期待中国能体现大国的责任，停止扭曲联合国大会第2758号决议以及二战历史文件，并且放弃以武力及胁迫方式改变台海现状，共同维护印太和平。
Now we move on to our next news. Multiple airstrikes by Pakistan has reportedly struck Kabul, the Afghan capital, marking a sharp escalation in tensions between Islamabad and the Taliban government. The strikes came just hours after Defense Minister Khawaja Asif warned that enough is enough, accusing Afghanistan of harboring militant safe havens behind recent cross-border attacks. According to reports, explosions were heard across parts of Kabul, though Taliban officials say there's no confirmed damage or casualties. The development follows weeks of rising friction over cross-border militancy and growing Pakistani frustration with what it calls the Taliban's inaction. This is all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more news updates from around the world.